Hey there, it's Lara here with Witchy Wednesday for the week of March 14th to 21st, 2018. As always, thanks for being here and taking the time to check in and watch the videos. And especially, I love it when people comment and send me messages and that kind of thing. So last week, you may have seen the video or you may have read the description or seen on Facebook where I ran a contest, right? Where over the course of this week, where anybody who subscribed to the channel and commented on last week's video got a chance to win a free taste of astrology reading with me. So the winner of the astrology reading is Colette B. So Colette, if you don't see this, don't worry, because I'm going to reach out to you and let you know that you won the reading. Anytime I do contests, just so people are aware, whether it be, giving away a reading on my Facebook page or to my subscribers, my email subscribers, or here on YouTube, I always use a random number generator so that it's fair and square. And so that's how I did it this time too. And congratulations to Colette. So I look forward to doing that reading for you. So if you're interested in getting a personal reading, then please click on the link below and you can head over to my website and you can check out what I have to offer there. And, if you have any questions about any of that, then please do reach out. If you're interested in having a birth chart reading done, if you have your birth time, that always makes for the most accurate reading. Or even if you have a good guesstimate, if your mom or dad or somebody in your family remembers that it was, around 9:15, for example, then that's better than not knowing at all. But even if you don't know, I can still do a reading, but it just we focus on other things. So there's quite a bit happening this week in terms of the astrology. I'll show you the chart for the week. Well, actually, this isn't the chart for the week. This is the chart specifically that I drew up for the upcoming new moon on March 17th, right? On Saturday, the new moon in Pisces. So that's what the chart looks like. And I'll draw your attention to it again in a little bit when I talk more about the new moon. But I like to show you the chart, just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at and what a birth chart looks like, because you can draw up a chart for any point in time, right? But if I did a birth chart for you, it would look very similar to this, but different in that, things would be in different positions. And those lines in the middle would be not the same. So anyway, the big news really is the new moon in Pisces that's happening on March 17th. So that's this Saturday. And this new moon in Pisces, first of all, if you happen to be a Pisces, then, a sun sign or your rising sign is Pisces, or even your moon sign to a degree, then this is kind of like, a new moon in your sign is like your own personal new year. And when we have a new moon, the sun and the moon are always beside each other, right? Conjunct each other in the sky on a new moon. And so obviously the sun is still in Pisces. It's still Pisces birthday month and until later on in March. And so the moon is going to be right beside the sun there in Pisces. And so Pisces people are having sort of their own personal new year. But this new moon is important for all of us for a few reasons. Pisces is the sign at the end of the zodiac, right? And it is the sign where everything sort of dissolves. And so at this new moon, we also have the planet Chiron, which I've mentioned before. Chiron is known in astrology as the wounded healer. And so Chiron is going to be right there beside the sun and the moon in Pisces. And it's moving towards the end of its transit in Pisces. So it is in Pisces until I think, I can't remember exactly, but April sometime. So it's right at the end of Pisces. And so we are likely to experience sort of the culmination of some kind of healing, right? Some kind of dealing with our wounds in some way, in whatever area of our personal chart Pisces is. So whatever house that falls in for you, it will be sort of an area where you may have old wounds come up for kind of final review and sort of final letting go of and dealing with and healing before moving on. So if you think about nature and where nature is at right now in the northern hemisphere, right? There is still all of this sort of below the surface stuff that's going on, right? There is a preparing below the surface for the arrival of something new, for the arrival of spring. So nature is sort of underground, in the unseen realms doing work right now. And that's kind of like it is with Pisces. And so this new moon is sort of a deep healing on some level. And yeah, it's until mid-April the Chiron is there. So I had written that down and I just saw it there. So if you know your chart, and those of you who have had readings with me, I always send you a copy of your birth chart, and then you know obviously what your sun sign is, but you'll know your rising sign, you'll know your moon sign, and you'll know which planet fall in each of the houses. And so when I'm talking to you about wherever Pisces falls in your chart, you'll be able to look at your chart and say, oh, I have Pisces in the 6th house or the 10th house, whatever. And it'll make a little bit more sense in that way. It'll give you a little bit more information when you're listening to these readings. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is we have also, like, just after that new moon happens on the 17th, we have Mars, which is the planet of action and inspiration and instinct, will, drive, all of that kind of thing, aggression to a degree. We have the planet Mars moving into Capricorn. So it's moving out of Sagittarius where it's been, and it's moving into Capricorn, and it will be there for the next couple of months. And it will meet up with Pluto and Saturn while it's moving through Capricorn. And so that is a whole big ball of powerhouse energy in that one area of the chart, right? Mars, you just heard me talking about what the qualities of Mars are. Pluto is all about transformation and really, getting to sort of the deepest depths. It's also about power and control, that kind of thing. And then we have Saturn, right? Which is hanging out in Capricorn too. And Saturn is about rules and structure and building a lasting foundation and obstacles and boundaries. So those are all three fairly heavy hitters, and they're all going to be hanging out in the same place in the sky for the next couple of months while Mars is there. And so, wherever that's happening in your chart, you'll feel this sort of this power, this powerhouse of energy there, right? And it's really kind of depends on how you choose to deal with it and how you react to it and that kind of thing. As always, I say to people when I'm doing readings for them, the wild card in astrology is always free will. So and sort of how aware you are of your own personal traits and triggers and all of that kind of thing, right? And how you deal with what life throws at you. So this can be like really good in that it gives you a real the real initiative to get some stuff done in a particular life area, to really make lasting powerful transformation, to take the actions, that kind of thing. Or on a sort of lower vibrational level, it could be there could be a lot of this going on, right? A lot of headbutting, a lot of frustration meeting up with obstacles, feeling like you're spinning your wheels, you know things being uncovered that you rather would have left buried, that kind of stuff. So just be mindful of the way that that can play out. And again, it depends on where this is in your own personal chart. For me, this is all happening in the fifth house of my chart, which is all about children. It's about creativity. It's about sort of kind of the fun things in life, right? And so it's interesting because I have already been feeling that there has been a lot of action and activity in those areas of life, and so almost to the point of overwhelm. It's not a bad thing, but it's hard to kind of keep a lid on. So I have to take those moments of stepping back and be really mindful about not letting things just go over the top, right? So the next thing I want to talk to you about is oh, of course, the vernal equinox, or the spring equinox, is happening on the 20th of March. And that is when the sun moves out of Pisces and into Aries, and it marks the official beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere. And so on the astrological, calendar or wheel, this is really it's the new year more than January, right? It's the beginning of the astrological new year. Aries is about beginnings, about pioneering, about Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, right? So about the instincts, the initiation, the inspiration, the will, the drive, the just kind of like going for it. It's about also about I, me, mine, that kind of thing, more than about the other. So that's happening. And then just after that, we have, I'm just going to take a sip of tea here. It's been a busy day so far. I haven't consumed much water or tea or anything, so I have a dry throat. Anyway, so on the 22nd, we have Mercury moving retrograde. And so that's actually not happening until next Witchy Wednesday, because it's next Thursday. So I'll have done another video by then. So I'm going to leave that discussion for then. So, really, as I mentioned, the big news is about that new moon and about what we choose to do with that. And it's really about taking a look at, our biggest wounding in some ways, and what lessons we can learn from that, right? Trying to see it as something that we've learned rather than, a failure or something that we've lost, or that kind of thing. Like trying to see sort of the positive and how we can use that to our greatest advantage, and perhaps to help others, right? The whole idea behind Chiron is that it's using your own personal wounding and what you've learned from that to then make you stronger, and also able to help others deal with their own wounds as well. And so with that, the card that came up for us today from the Rider-Waite Tarot is the Judgment card, reversed. Oh, I said I was going to show you the chart again, didn't I? Sorry, I'm a little all over the place. As I said, it's been a busy morning so far. Busy day. It's already getting late afternoon. So this is the chart once again, and I just want to show you. This is the chart for the new moon, right? And so here is Pisces, the sign of Pisces, and the house is the 12th house. That's the natural house of Pisces. So all these planets are going to be in Pisces, right? The sun is there. The moon will be there for the new moon on the 17th. There is Chiron, as I mentioned, the wounded healer, and who's getting to the end of Pisces and will be transitioning into Aries in mid-April. And then Neptune is in Pisces still and will be for a while longer. But these three planets here, the moon will move out within the next, after the 17th, within a couple of days. And then by the 20th, the sun will be moving into Aries to mark the beginning of spring. And then mid-April, Chiron will also move into Aries. So then we'll have all this shift into the sign of Aries and this fiery kind of energy, right? That springing out of the gate, that new beginnings kind of energy. So we're just kind of, we're doing the last mop up here in Pisces, the water sign, right? So just be patient with yourself. And so the Judgment card reverse here is saying to us, it's a time for patience right now with ourselves. When we are examining our wounds, right? And what we can learn from those wounds, and what we can bring forward with us to help us moving forward, and what needs to be let go of and dissolved. Those are Piscean words: letting go, dissolving, and what can we absorb from our past experiences? It's another Piscean word. What can we absorb? What can we take in? What can we learn to move forward without being overly judgmental of ourselves, without being overly critical, of what is, it's like the whole woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? That really doesn't, it's not helpful to us to revisit our past woundings and our past mistakes in those terms. What is helpful is to do a bit of a review right now, to look back and go, okay, well, here's where I am, here's how I got here, and what can I learn from that, and how can I move forward? So, it's also about using your own sound judgment, and not necessarily relying on the judgments of others to direct you, right? But it's about your own inner direction, and perhaps your connection to something bigger than yourself, which is very Piscean as well. So I think I'm going to leave it there. And if you have any feedback or any questions, then please do reach out. Please continue commenting on the YouTube videos here. I think that I'm going to continue to do these giveaways probably once a month. So stay tuned for future videos, and I'll announce the next contest over the next couple of videos. And stay connected on Facebook, Instagram. I do stuff there too. And if you sign up to my email list over on my website, then I sometimes just do exclusive giveaways to my email subscribers as well. So thanks once again for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you next week. Okay, take care. And Colette, I'll be reaching out to you. Okay, bye-bye.